Today we are taking a look at Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. This is the open version in the Luminasta figure line by SEGA. Jujutsu Kaisen is a dark, supernatural action series built around curses, Jujutsu sorcerers, and the battles that follow once Yuji Itadori is drawn into that world. The story combines fast combat, dangerous supernatural abilities, and characters whose powers can completely change the atmosphere of a scene. Sukuna is one of the most important presences in the series and stands as the king of curses. Today's highlights for this figure are the confident expression with one hand placed in the pocket, the battle-damaged outfit with multiple torn openings, and the flame effect created through clear parts and color gradation. The face immediately sets the tone through the wide smile, the narrow eyes, and the black markings that spread across the forehead, cheeks, and chin. That expression already feels relaxed rather than strained, and the hand placed casually into the pocket pushes that mood even further by making the pose feel controlled and unbothered. The outfit adds another major point of appeal. The dark uniform is not left clean and flat, but broken up by torn edges across the chest, shoulder, sleeve ends, back, and legs. Because those openings are spread across the costume instead of being isolated to one small area, the figure carries a clear sense of combat damage through the entire body. The effect part is what gives the piece its strongest motion. A large red flame-like arc rises from the lowered hand, crosses the front of the body, and curves up over the head, so the energy does not stay in one place but wraps around the figure. The clear material and the shift from deeper red into orange and yellow help that effect feel much more alive than a solid, opaque part would. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The face is built around a smile that feels calm and dangerous at the same time. The mouth stretches wide with the corners pulled upward, and the lips are shaped clearly enough that the grin reads as an intentional expression. The eyes stay narrow and focused, and the small reddish pupils sit sharply inside that shape, which keeps the expression from becoming playful or soft. That balance between the smile and the eyes is what gives the face its strong sense of control. The black markings are just as important as the expression itself. A symbol sits at the center of the forehead, a thick band crosses the nose area, and additional lines run down the cheeks and under the mouth. Because these markings are distributed across the face instead of collecting in only one area, they divide the skin surface into several clear sections and make the expression feel even more forceful from the front. The hair is short, dense, and sharply separated into many pointed locks. Rather than falling in long strands, it spreads outward from the head in tight spikes, which gives the silhouette a rougher and more aggressive edge. The front leaves enough space for the forehead marking to remain visible, while the outer sections rise and spread enough to keep the head from feeling too compact. That spiked shape works well with the expression because both the face and the hair push the figure toward a harder, more dangerous impression. The upper body is organized around contrast between stillness and motion. One hand is lowered and opened outward, while the other is tucked into the pocket, so the torso does not feel symmetrical. That difference in arm placement makes the body feel composed rather than rigid, and it allows the figure to project confidence without needing an exaggerated action pose. At the neck sits the red hood and collar section, which wraps thickly around the neck and rises high enough to frame the lower part of the face. Below that, the dark uniform continues into the chest, where gold buttons mark the front and give the upper body a clear vertical structure. The uniform does not remain smooth across the torso because folds and tension lines run through the chest and stomach, especially where the flame effect passes across the front. That helps the body read as more than a flat column. The damaged costume work is one of the strongest features in this section. Torn openings appear around the shoulder and across the upper body, and the edges of those tears are shaped unevenly so they read as ripped fabric rather than clean-cut holes. On the sleeves, the dark outer layer pulls back enough to reveal the red inner section underneath, which makes the damage feel layered instead of superficial. The arm with the lowered hand also includes dark band markings around the forearm, adding another visual break before the hand and effect part take over. The effect itself wraps directly into the upper body composition. It begins near the lowered hand, thickens as it crosses the front of the torso, and then rises into a tall arc above the head. Because that movement crosses the body instead of staying separate at the side, it becomes part of the figure's silhouette rather than just an accessory attached beside it. The lower half keeps the same damaged uniform design going through the pants. The fabric hangs with a loose, straight fall from the hips, but the shape does not become plain because the folds bunch around the thighs, knees, and lower legs in different directions. Small torn areas appear across the pants as well, so the sense of battle damage is carried downward instead of stopping at the torso. The legs are kept relatively direct in their placement, which works well with the upper body attitude. This is not a pose that relies on a deep crouch or a dramatic step. Instead, the body stands in a way that feels grounded and deliberate, allowing the facial expression, hand placement, and effect arc to do most of the visual work. That choice fits the character well because the pose feels like confidence under control rather than effort. The shoes add a strong accent color at the bottom. Their bright red stands out clearly against the dark pants and black lower legs, and the lace details and layered sole shapes keep them from feeling too simple. That repeated red also connects nicely back to the hood and the flame effect, so the color is distributed across the figure rather than staying isolated in one area. Below everything, the base becomes a major part of the presentation. Large broken rock slabs rise around the feet, and bright molten red streams spread across the ground between them. Those glowing lines are not arranged as a flat circle under the figure, but branch outward across the surface, which gives the base a stronger scene-like quality. The rocks, molten ground, and rising effect all work together to make the lower body feel surrounded by destructive energy instead of simply standing on a support. This figure is approximately 23 centimeters tall. That's about 9.1 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Sukuna by SEGA stands out for the way this figure combines a relaxed but threatening expression, a battle-damaged uniform, and a large sweeping effect part into one very memorable display piece. The face is one of the strongest sections of the figure. The wide smile gives him immediate presence, while the narrow eyes keep that expression sharp instead of friendly. The black markings across the forehead, cheeks, nose, and chin also help break up the face in a very striking way, so the head remains visually strong even before the effect part is taken into account. The hair supports that impression well. Its short spiked sculpt gives the head a harder outline, and the outward spread of the locks prevents the upper silhouette from looking too small or too smooth. That rougher hair shape matches the aggressive tone created by the markings and expression. The upper body is especially effective because of the pose. One hand opens outward while the other rests in the pocket, and that contrast makes the figure feel calm and fully in control. The red hood and collar frame the neck clearly, the gold buttons give the chest a clean structure, and the torn openings across the uniform add visible damage without interrupting the overall line of the body. The lower body keeps that same appeal going through the loose damaged pants, the bright red shoes, and the volcanic base under the feet. The rocks rise around the figure in large broken slabs, while the molten red lines spread outward below, giving the lower half a lot more presence than a simple flat base would have offered. Above that, the clear flame effect ties the entire composition together by starting near the hand, crossing the front of the body, and then curving overhead. Because of that, fans of Jujutsu Kaisen or Sukuna will definitely enjoy this piece. With that focus, collectors who appreciate confident expressions, dramatic effect parts, and battle-damaged costume detail should find it a very satisfying figure. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.